Well, hello. Didn't see you there. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys all my reptiles. So, not much else to say about that. I'm just going to get right into it. Alright. So, first on my list, we've got my ball python. Now, she's a female and her name's Peyton. Peyton the python. I think that's a cool name. But anyway, she's a really cool snake. Very, very tame. She's actually the only snake I trust with other people holding. My other two snakes aren't as docile, I guess. She's really cool. I have her in a 20-gallon long. She seems to enjoy it. She comes out every morning. Comes out and basks up here. I just refilled her water bowl, so she might come over and drink. She's really cool. I mean, her setup's really simple. I mean, I took out all the stuff that she didn't use because, honestly, she just made a big mess of it. I used to have another hide in here, and all she would do was poop in it, and then she'd just stay in here all day like she already does. And I switched out the coconut fiber because I ran out, and I had to clean the tank. So I'm looking to put some coconut fiber back in here. But, I mean, she's doing really great in here. All I have to really do to keep up the humidity is spray it a lot more than I usually do. But that should really just keep it until I get some coconut fiber. And I feed her large rat every week or so. And she's just a really, really great snake. She's about 4 or 5 years old now. I didn't get her as a hatchling, so I'm not exactly too sure, but I've had her for around 5 years. So she's awesome. I don't know what else to say. She's just a really great snake, and I highly recommend ball pythons if you're thinking about getting a snake. Alright guys, so next up I've got my western hognose snake. He's a male, and his name is Zero. I have him here in a 10-gallon, which is a lot of space for a little guy like him. And he's out here basking too. That's this little mound here, that's what's it called? It's that excavator clay from ZooMed. It actually used to be a nice big arch, and it was like a lot bigger. I actually used it for my leopard gecko a long time ago, and then I dropped it when I was cleaning the tank. So yeah, there's some poop if you guys want to see it. I got cleaned that up. I got a nice piece of grape wood, and I actually stuck a Christmas tree, or not a Christmas tree, mistletoe. I stuck some mistletoe in there, and took out all the little mistletoe berries or whatever, and it works really cool. I like it. All about that DIY, am I right? So, yeah, he's cool. Hognoses are by far my favorite snake. And there's just so much personality on these little guys. The way they kind of like fake strike at you, play dead. I mean, he hasn't played dead on me yet, but hognose snakes are known to play dead a lot. So I don't know if I want to see that or not, because that might suggest that he's stressed out, and thankfully enough, I haven't stressed him out yet. So yeah, that's my western hognose. So let's move on to the next one. Alright, so here we have my giant day gecko. His name's Geo, and he's a male. He's over here on his bamboo. He's still a little guy. I mean, he's pretty big, but for a giant day gecko, he's not that big yet. And yeah, he's super active. He's one of my favorites now. Since I have so many reptiles, it's hard for me to pick favorites. I probably shouldn't pick favorites, but he's got to be one of them. He's super active. I'm trying to train him to jump on my hand, but it doesn't really work because he always ends up biting me. So yeah, that's Geo. He's in a Exoterra, 12 by 12 by 18. And I've got some Pangea up here for him whenever he wants to drink that, or not drink it, eat it. So yeah, he's got a UVB on right here, soaking up that UV. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. My camera literally just shut off. I think I ran out of memory or something, but I remember I left off right there. So next guy, we got my crested gecko. He's also in a 12 by 12 by 18. And his name is Goldfish because, let me see if I can maneuver myself. Okay, so right now goldfish is being modest right now. He's not showing his true potential of color. Usually when he's fired up, he's really bright yellowish gold with tiger stripe down his back. He's really cool. And here, this is how he usually looks like. This isn't a picture of him, but that is the same picture of the morph he is. I think it's called like a yellow creamsicle or something like that. Don't trust me on that. I know nothing about my morphs, but he is really cool. And he's special because I actually got him from a booth at a Reptile Expo that was selling, I wouldn't necessarily say disabled or injured animals, but like non-profitable traits. So, you know, like kink tails, weird looking backs, I guess like deformed animals for a really great price. I got him for $20. And his deformities are just his back and his tail. It's really hard to see from this angle, but he's got a really screwed up back and his tail's all bent. And I think it's just because of, you know, husbandry, I guess. I believe it was probably because of not enough humidity or something like that, but I got a great deal on him, and he eats, poops, runs around fine. I mean, he seems like a perfectly good gecko to me, so I said why not, and I picked him up. So that's him. He eats the same stuff. He eats Pangea and Rapashi, just like my man Gio here. He literally just finished eating all that Rapashi, and I mean, it's Pangea. He just finished eating all that, and look how fat his belly is. He's a big boy. So anyway, if you go down here, we have my next reptile, and he is a western longnose snake. So here we have little old Skippy. Skippy's my male western longnose snake. Not to be confused with hognose snake. This is a longnose snake, so they both live in the West. Apparently, western longnose snake, it's really just a rat snake that does not eat rats. So instead of rats, it eats not rats. Oh my god. It eats frogs and toads and lizards and stuff like that. Anything it can really find in the desert. It was really, really hard to get him to eat mice because most likely he's wild caught, because I've only seen 2 of these guys ever in my reptile experience. So the second time I had to pick them up because they're so cool. They have the colors of a, I guess like a milk snake or like king snake, but the build and like personality of a corn. But anyway, they're really hard to get on mice if they're not captive bred, and that was my issue. But after a good painstaking 7 months, he started eating 1 mouse every week. So I could not get him out of his little hide here. He has really beautiful colors, and I had to flip over his little log here so you guys could see him. But he lives in a 10-gallon with some aspen, some hides. There's his water dish. He usually comes out in the morning and right before, you know, dusk, which is actually right now. It's kind of sun setting a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, he's a really great snake. I wouldn't recommend them to people who haven't had snakes before, because again, they suck at eating mice. But they're awesome. They have so much personality, super active. They're really just like a really small corn snake because they only get about half the size. I mean, think about it. He gets around from the size of the net handle right here. So he's not a big snake, and they stay pretty thin. So definitely really cool snake. If you ever see one, pick it up. Now next to Skippy, we have this little gem here. This is Coco, my African fat-tailed gecko. I just interrupted her while she was pooping, and she's a really awesome little gecko. Very similar to leopard geckos. They eat the same stuff. They just like it a little more humid. Look at her. She's perking up for the video. She's one of my original animals. She's around 6 years old right now. She's still got time. They live around usually like 10, 15 years, so got a good long lifespan on them. Really cool little geckos. I just spray once in the morning before bed. It should do it for her. She's also in a 10-gallon with some reptile carpet and some hides. I gotta clean that poop. I've been scattering all my cleaning. It's a mess, man. But there she goes into her little hide. She's awesome. She's one of the only reptiles that I let people hold freely. Usually with my other reptiles, I have to hold them so they can touch it. But she's super, super tame. She does not mind being held whatsoever. And she's just an all-around great gecko. Now, I have heat pads for my African fat tail, my leopard over here. This is just a little LED that I use for the video. It's down here. I don't even know why I showed you that. You can't even see it, but that's usually what keeps their heat running, because they like some belly heat more than the basking heat. So that's pretty much it for Coco. Now, directly next to Coco, we have the one who started it all, the OG. This is Leo, my leopard gecko. He is really, really cool. Super, super old. He's around 18 years old now. When I got him, he was apparently around 10 years old, and I've had him for 8. So, he's quite the geezer, but he's got time. Leopard geckos live forever, honestly. And I actually got him from the same vendor that I got my crested gecko from. So he's another kind of misfit gecko, if you would say, because he has a regrown tail. I'm not too sure how he lost the tail, though, but I'm pretty sure it's from like mishandling and stuff like that. So that was the best 10 bucks I've ever spent. Hello, Xena, how are you? This is my Rottweiler, Xena. She is bothering me because I'm making a video. Come here, dude. So, as I was saying, my boy Leo right here, my leopard gecko, was arguably the best $10 I've ever spent. Next to this guy right here. This tiny creature is my Biberon's gecko, and her name is Pip. Now, when I got her, I thought she was a boy, until I took her to school for a project, and she laid a stress egg. So then that day I found out she was a female. Why am I closing the enclosure? Anyway, as I was saying, I did find out she was a female because she laid a stress egg, and she's probably one of my favorite animals that I own, because for a very long time I've been looking to get a Biberon's gecko. Around 3 years I was searching everywhere to get one, because on my first Reptile Expo I saw one. I didn't think much about it until I saw a video online about the Biberon's gecko 3 years ago, and I'm like, dude, I gotta get one. And then I had so much regret, like, man, why did I not pick that up last time I went, or the first time I went to Repticon? Because the first time I went to Repticon, I didn't get anything other than this little guy right here. I mean, I didn't get anything until like my 100th Reptile Expo. Why can't my camera focus? And it was funny because I wasn't even looking for Biberon's geckos. I just went there to show some friends the wonderful world of reptiles, and I'm like, whoa, there's a Biberon's gecko here for 10 bucks. I'm getting it no matter what. So I got her, and just such an amazing animal. Very similar to leopard geckos, eat the same stuff, have the same temperatures. They like it a little bit more humid though, and of course they're arboreal. I have this like 5-watt heat bulb right here that it keeps that basking spot at a good 90. And I missed it in the mornings, not at night, because they don't like it that humid. But I do make sure that I give it enough humidity. There's a water dish down here too, so she can go in and drink some water. And yeah, every couple of nights I'll just throw some crickets in there, give her some mealworms, and she'll eat that right up. Where'd she go? Well, anyway, that pretty much concludes this reptile tour, I guess. I just really felt like showcasing my animals because, you know, having a bunch of reptiles stopped being cool in middle school. And ever since then, every time it's come in a conversation, everyone's just like, oh, you got reptiles. What's wrong with you? Why don't you just get a dog? I'm like, oh, because I like reptiles. So, anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you watched this far, it's a pretty long video already. And, yeah, again, just thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around.